Okay, I have never used this before, so I hope it's gonna work out. But anyways, my final draft was on, and my uh first draft was on the conspiracy theory about whether the moon landing in 1969 was real or not. And I came about picking this just because it's always interested me, and it didn't have any relation to my major. My major's graphic design, but I researched and I could not find many graphic designs conspiracy theories. There were theories surrounding different like graphics on, say, like a peanut butter can, where it says like people claim it used to say Jiffy, but now it says Jif, but like stupid stuff like that. But I kind of wanted to do something more interesting and something I go more in depth on, so I decided to do this because I was curious about it and I figured probably other people were too. And so I started out on my first draft with a very rough start. I only had one citation, but I at first just Googled, like, how or why the moon landing was real or reasons why the moon landing was fake, and I would look for, my main thing was to look for reputable sources and accurate sources and sources that could back up what I was saying. And so basically, my first draft, I wanted to get all my ideas gathered together and sorted out, and obviously I didn't get all of it because I only had one reason, which was this one. And that was how the flag looked. So I realized I was most likely going to have more reasons as to why people believed it was fake. But, yeah, I provided some background information just because I didn't even know anything about it. Or, like, I knew stuff about the basic Apollo 11 mission, but I didn't know, really specific reasons as to why people thought it was fake. But anyways, so I got really good feedback from my peer reviewer, and she did give me a lot of good recommendations, like adding pictures or videos of the flag and how it was standing, which I did end up doing in my final draft right there. Um, and she also gave me some compliments about how my conspiracy theory wasn't a part of my major, and I went out of my way to look it up, which was really nice. She was really sweet. So, yeah. And overall, with my final draft, I feel pretty confident about it. Um, like I said before, I spent a lot of time reading different articles trying to find good, valid sources. Let me go down to them. Most of them are like NASA. I pay attention to the last three things. It's what I've always been told, and that's my scholarly source from the page that you provided for us. Probably the only one I didn't really like was the History Channel or NBC News, but since this was a more informal writing, I figured it was fine. But yeah, I just wanted to try and find theories behind the whole conspiracy theory that I didn't really know about, or know in depth about, or know much about. But, so with the images that I had in my final draft, this is of the three astronauts that were on the Apollo 11 mission. This one is of the flag supporting the first theory that people had based behind the conspiracy theory. This one is of a theory behind that it was a staged mission and the sea on this rock was providing a source of evidence that it was a prop in like a Hollywood studio or something, which was another one of my reasons. And my last one was the shadow, which you see the astronaut's shadow right there, and you see the landing shadow right there, which is accurate. But then if you look closely, you also see a shadow right here, which is something a lot of people looked at and thought that there could be some kind of like studio lighting right here shining and creating that spotlight, but again, the sources that I had debunked these, and they even had a Mythbusters episode debunking it. But I decided on the images that I used mainly based on the sources that they came from, and I wanted to have accurate and trustworthy sources. And I also wanted them to correspond with what I was stating. This one corresponds with the introductory paragraph, and I basically have a picture for every body paragraph besides my conclusion and kind of the paragraph after my introduction, which has just a little history behind the whole Apollo 11 mission in 1969. And I also wanted them to be good quality pictures. Obviously, this one is a little smaller than I would have liked, but that's fine. And I didn't know how to do this before this project, but I linked them, which I thought I'm not very good with technology, so Google Docs was never my thing. I always used Microsoft Word, so I am learning with this class and my other class as well. But and I think one of my big aspects that leaves room for improvement on my paper and most of the papers I write is most likely my grammar. I have a hard time trying to figure out like where I should use quotations and where I should use a comma or semicolon or just a colon, and I have a really hard time figuring out when to use what. But I try and just do my best, and I try and get other people's opinions as well. I didn't really have anyone now since we're at home taking a summer class, but yeah, I tried my best. But overall, I thought it was a very interesting project and a paper to write about. I learned a lot from it, stuff that I didn't even know previously. Like, I did not know about the shadow theory, and I also did not know about this theory. I did know a little bit about the flag, but yeah, I hope my paper will be able to help other classmates to be more informed about this crazy conspiracy theory, or yeah, just provide them some kind of entertainment or something. But yeah, it was really interesting to learn about. So yeah, thank you.